Hey guys, welcome back to another player imports video. Now, as you might have noticed by the fact I didn't upload a player imports video yesterday, I'm not really going to do it in days anymore because it got to the point where it was all pretty much the same thing and it got pretty repetitive, and I just wasn't really finding it that enjoyable to record as such, because it was basically just me just sort of messing around with the different things to try and get the best success rating that I could. So I didn't really see it as sort of an exciting thing to have in a video, but what I thought I would do is keep it interesting, like show how successful my voyages are going, like how the map is getting unlocked and random events and stuff, and sort of things that will be more interesting, and also things that I've discovered about player imports that you might find, that you might not already know, that you might find interesting and useful. So first of all, I'm just going to open up my map and show you how far I'm getting into the zone. So 39% into the next zone, which I can't remember the exact name of it, but I have read somewhere what it's called, but I know that there's like something called the Pincer region and things like that. I also unlocked this island called the Siren Shell. I got it wasn't a special voyage, it was just a standard voyage, but it unlocked this island, which meant I could get this new crew member, which I can show you right here, which is the Siren Whale Rider. And they have really awesome stats, but they also have this thing called Rallying Cry, which increases XP gains, which is kind of cool, but at the same time it seemed to also come with a short-sighted attribute, which meant that it reduces seafaring. It doesn't say how much by. I don't know whether it just is included within this figure, but I'm not entirely sure. But still, I thought it was pretty cool that I got all these awesome stats so early on, which could be kind of interesting. I also dismissed a couple of my captains because they weren't worth it really, so I just hired more effective ones. I also unlocked things like exploding golems, which is kind of cool. So it's all getting pretty exciting. I'm finding it pretty cool. I haven't upgraded any of my buildings yet, but you can look at my ships and see which parts I've bought. So I've bought basically all of the things you can buy with gunpowder for these ones. So the entwined rigging, small crate of riches, and cannon, and each of them does 450 in their relevant skill success rating thing. I'm not entirely sure what you'd call it, but it means that because you have two of those, then it really does help a lot. And then I guess the next thing I'll be buying is like upgraded hulls and things. And it's getting to the point where I've bought almost all of the different upgrades that I can with gunpowder. So then I'll start upgrading buildings and things. And I guess this means that it's pretty designed to work out perfectly, so that once you've spent all of the gunpowder that you've succeeded in finding, that you then start discovering the next area. So it's probably all been worked out like that, which is kind of cool. So it means that it's always going to maintain that sort of slight degree of challenge, because it's not easy at the moment to try and match those success ratings. It's getting to the point where I'm quite often sending them off at like 75% and just hoping for the best, but it's still working out pretty well. Like I'd say probably a good like 95% of my voyages succeed. I get like the rare occasional one that does mess up, but at the same time I'm not sending out all 12 because I don't like doing two at the same time, because obviously that's going to lower the success rating. So that's basically what's happened so far. I got a random event which gave me a couple of extra effects that I think I can show you here. Yeah, add effect. Yeah, I got 2 more powder kegs, which is kind of cool. And I also got Captain Reroll, used it and it didn't work. But it's pretty awesome. It's working out pretty well. And one last thing I want to show you is this special type of voyage you get. Now, what you can get in these special voyages is a joint acquisition. There are pairs of the adventurers that when they're together, you get a special voyage, which basically I think it's just meant to be more effective than the standard voyage, and they work together basically. And they're a pair. I think the pairs are the occultist and the missionary, obviously, and then I think it's the biologist and the whale rider, or whale. So I don't know, I can't remember what it is. Something to do with whales. Basically fishing and herblore, and then you've got thieving and slayer, which go together. So you have those pairs, and if they're together, then they give you these joint acquisition voyages. But at the same time, as you know already, if you send someone out, like if I send the missionary out, all other voyages that I've got available with him disappear. And if you do the joint acquisition one, then it's going to make both disappear. So if I say I've got this joint acquisition one, and then also a missionary one and an occultist one, and I send out the joint one, then all of them disappear in one. So it might be something you want to take into consideration. And then obviously you just go for the one that's, I'd go for the one that's easiest. Like this one is easier to get than this one, but obviously it depends entirely on how much you value the other voyage over the easier ones. So it's entirely up to you how you work it all out, but I think it's kind of awesome. So I'm going to send off a few voyages, and I'll add to the video when some more interesting things have happened, like maybe when I send off the special voyage. You know, actually I think I might send off the special voyage. I think I am going to go for this one because it's easier. So if I edit the ship, then I should be able to get a pretty good success rate, and I'm hoping. So, small crate of riches, I believe. No, seafaring, rigging. Of course, it's always rigging. So let's throw some rigging on. Well, this is exactly what I said I wasn't going to do, but I thought it'd be something that I could quickly do nice and easily. And then let's just edit the crew. They already have quite good seafaring on this one now. It looks like it was more geared towards combat on my last voyage. So here we go, seafaring. Also, I got this other guy called an Eastern Overseer that he has this attribute called Solidarity. Someone actually wrote a comment on a video that said that when you have this guy, then for every unique crew member, you get a 50+ attribute in either all stats or one specific stat, and I can't remember what it is, which is kind of awesome. So have we got any more seafaring? This might not be hugely successful by the looks of it. I really need to start organising my people so that I've got more. So right there, I've got 2 that are the same, so I'm not going to get that extra 50% bonus times 4, only times 3, but still I'd rather go for that extra seafaring. So what's the highest we've got? I think that's about as good as it's going to get. 87%, pretty reasonable. Which one of these has got the better seafaring? Oh, we're definitely going for this guy then. There we go, 90%. I'd say that's pretty reasonable. Let's send it off, and I'll basically just let you know how that turns out and if there's like a cutscene or anything about it. So, oh, it looks like there's going to be a cutscene anyway. Oh no, this is the cutscene I've already seen. So it's basically him going on about like how he wants to build the church on certain places. So it's not particularly interesting, and I'll just skip over this. So that's that mission sent off, and then hopefully it'll be pretty successful when it comes back. And why has all my interface stuff just appeared again? I try and avoid that because obviously it clutters the screen, and I don't think it's that great to look at. But anyway, pretty awesome. Port is going pretty well now that we're progressing nicely. I would imagine it'll probably be like a good week before we unlock the next zone though, so I don't know how long it's going to be before we get any of the armors and stuff, but no scroll voyages so far, so I guess I'll see you in a second. To end up this episode,
and it's going to cost you loads of money a week, and it's pretty shit, but you know, that's what you get when you're in London.
I've got a reasonable chance of getting. It's
How
literally
much
just
are clubs
arrived.
in
It had
Bristol?
about 75%
Between
chance of success,
3
so I'm
and
pretty
5
happy if it does turn
Oh
out
yeah,
well.
it's the same sort of.
So let's find out. Please have succeeded.
What
What are you guys doing for New Year's? Is anything going on, or?
Come on, please.
Fuck all.
I might be in Leeds.
Yes!
I'm weighing up going back to
Scroll
Bristol for motion.
Okay,
Russell.
that should be the what is it? It's called. I think it's the sea
what are you going to lease for?
now. So
Yeah,
my port management.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I might go to Bristol.
We have one part of the
The only problem is
Well,
like, yes, I know.
that is a
dickhead.
pretty
That was
solid
the
way
point.
to end episode 4. So let's just have a quick look
I
at Archaeopelago map. 57%.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm
I don't
pretty
know
happy with that.
Because the problem is
I don't actually know what the next area
I'd
is
have
called,
like no one to go out with in Bristol.
that's
'cause it's my
come with me
mates.
if you want.
So that's the
I might
secret.
go
to my
And also,
flat
if
as
you look at
well.
my skills, my herb lore
So,
is
all my
Can you
mates
stay in your
very close
flats
to
over
limit,
Christmas then
and then
if
it's
you
only
want to?
500k
Yep.
until I get
Yeah.
Quite a lot of people
90
do. They have
herb,
like
which means I can get
Chinese
access to it in another
students, like.
person.
Oh
And
right.
then
On ours,
also
you just have to
fishing
let them know
miles
you're going to
away.
be there in
Thieving, I
case
am
of a
doing
fire
pretty
or
quickly.
something. But
I'm just leaving that at
otherwise,
XP so that when I get to, so I can just do a road to Maxcape really
just,
quickly.
you know, can stay.
And what else? And Slayer. Obviously, I'm miles away from Slayer, but I might make the most of it next weekend when we've got the double fishing.
Is your
and
girlfriend
Slayer
going to
XP, so
come down and
that'd be
visit
pretty
Russell?
awesome. So
No,
I'm
not
pretty
this
happy
term.
with the way that Voyage
Sounds like
turned
a
out.
goal.
Like both my boats have got all the upgrades available for the top level.
Shotgun.
Got a fair number of resources, and like if you look at these,
You
like,
can't
well, obviously besides that one,
what
but
the
that's
fuck?
sort of
You can.
one star one. But I don't
Well,
like
just
the tier
did,
and
you
stuff
dickhead,
every
so-
single
You have
you
to
know,
be
part
able
of the
to
ship.
see them before you can
And
shot
yeah,
them.
so
I
pretty
had on
successfully.
a profile picture on
And
profile
so-
page now.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
I
very
freaking banged her
happy.
last night.
Slayer and
I
Ports,
was just
really
like
enjoying them
shotgun
at the moment.
first
I've
go,
said that
and
a
you
lot
come
of
back
times,
to
but I
Souls
think it's
which
a
was
brilliant
like, fair
playing
enough.
game. The way you don't have to always be there, it's a hell of a lot of fun. So we're getting there. I know that a lot of other YouTubers
How's the
significantly
girl, Ross?
further. Some people are like almost into the 3rd region now. I've just been pretty unlucky with some of my voyages and the crew.
Yeah,
exactly.
What is it, like,
Seeing
when you
as
get
I'm being
random crew members,
unsuccessful,
I've just been pretty unlucky with the ones that I get.
That's
Have
probably-
you
no,
got a
it's
girl, Luke?
It's all about luck,
No,
so
no, I haven't.
hopefully it means that I'll get better
Fair
luck in
enough.
the future, like I just did there. I got.
I think we've
a
all
scroll,
obviously
and
got.
I guess we'll get
good
to
old
see how
Sheila,
easy it is to make those things.
She's always been a
So I'll see
fallback
you in
plan.
episode 5.
Don't forget Dawn
So,
Honor
yeah,
or
thanks very
Babes.
much for watching, guys.